Ride in Britain this is, and since September the 9th last year when he broke his leg on this very track when racing for Paul. And on the outside it's the young Aussie Travis McGowan, who's scored 30 points in his last 3 meetings, and he's the form man at the moment. This promises to be quite a heat. Kings Lynn will be looking for early success, but Ron Sullivan is pretty impressive here. Our start marshal there in the striped jacket, that's Peter Thompson. Referee in charge tonight from just down the road at Mildenhall, that is Mick Bates, a former rider with the Mildenhall Fen Tigers. Ready to start the very first heat here in this crunch battle. Up fly the tapes and away they go. It is Ron Sullivan in red on the inside, but Crump is giving as good as he gets. But chase is on because Crump is blocking the man in blue, Magnus Zetterstrom. Way at the back is Travis McGowan. Desperately disappointing for him, but Ron Sullivan got a flyer from the tapes, and Ron Sullivan is getting quicker and quicker.
Yes, he is, but down at the back there, Travis McGowan's just nipped by Magnus Zetterstrom for that 3rd place, so that's very crucial, Tony.
Crucial indeed, because it looks like a 3-all if it stays like this, but Ron Sullivan knows this track now like the back of his hand. He's missed a couple of meetings for Peterborough with a virus, but certainly he looks fit and well and raring to go down that back straight, because he's opening up a big gap against Jason Crump in white. We thought that Crump would be a contestant here, but Ron Sullivan in this one, there's something like jet propelled fuel on that machine, because he's now got a 50-metre lead with half a lap to go, and it's all over this race for Ron Sullivan here. The cheers of the Peterborough fans as Ron Sullivan takes the checkered flag. Ahead of in 2nd place in white, Jason Crump, along with his teammate Travis McGowan in yellow. Real disappointment for Magnus Zetterstrom, because that's a 3-all for the first heat, makes it level at 3-all with 1 heat gone here. And that heat winner, Ron Sullivan, a 15-point maximum last time Kings Lynn were here.
And that's not far off the actual record, so well done.
Yeah, it's quite good. You know, the track's probably a little bit inconsistent. It chopped up towards the last part of the race there, but managed to get a nice start and you know, just get away clean.
And you were going fast, and there's obviously you come in and you thought maybe you had a fast time, track record time. The bike's working good.
Yeah, it's a fresh engine actually. I was just trying something new, and because I had a few problems at the Grand Prix and things, so I've been working pretty hard the last couple of days.
Yeah.
But it seemed to be okay. It didn't really, you know, it was a little bit flat. But
Pretty close to that first corner with Jason.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a nudge, but
just let him know who was boss there.
Yeah, you know, you have to do that. We've had some good races together, and you know, I knew I had to get a clean start and get away. It was going to be hard to pass after the first few turns. So
well, I can confirm that you were just 1/10 of a second off the track record here. So that bodes well for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, that's right. It's hopefully something to spur the rest of the guys on, keep them going, and you know, let Lynn know that we're not going to roll over that easy.
Yeah, I think that's a significant factor as well, because if you get a good start, you could perhaps keep the roll going and maybe, you know, make them think twice about what they're actually up to. Yeah,
that's right. I think they expect us just to, you know, let them go, but we're certainly not here to do that. We're certainly to make our point and show that we're a force to be reckoned with.
Good to hear. Well done again. Let's see if you can break that.
Yeah, whoever's going well in the reserves can have a big influence on the match. If you've got a reserve that scores a lot of points, then you probably be on the winning team. So it's very important really what these lads do, especially in this heat 2.
So heat 2 on the inside, Steve Masters goes in white for Kings Lynn. Gate 2 is Nigel Sadler, the 21-year-old Aussie, racing his 498th race in British Speedway. He goes from gate 2 for Peterborough. Gate 3 in yellow is Tom Madsen for Kings Lynn. On the outside in blue for Peterborough, Brett Woodfield. That's the lineup. Remember, the home riders throughout the meeting were the red and the blue helmet colours from Peterborough. White and yellow and black is Kings Lynn. Away we go now for heat number 2. Up by the tapes and away on the inside goes Steve Masters. His teammate and partner Madsen left at the tapes. They're going round the outside is Brett Woodfield. But Masters has got this taped, and Masters is out front. And maybe the change of gates and the change of racing numbers has helped for them, because for Kings Lynn, Steve Masters is out front, and a brilliant start by him. Going on the grass in blue is Brett Woodfield, but not both wheels. His teammate and partner Nigel Sadler packing in. It'll be another thrill if it's like this, but Masters is looking good.
Yeah, Masters has gone like a scalded cat there from that start. Round the first turn, here he is now with a massive lead, but we can see the bike's bucking around a little bit, but the lead he's got is unbelievable, because Brett Woodfield, who normally goes pretty well round here, he's having trouble getting round. Bike's jumping around, and it looks as though he's settled for 2nd place.
Well, it's going to be a second 3-all of the meeting here, and it's going to be level after this one with 15 or 13 heats to go after this. But down the back straight goes Steve Masters, well in charge of this one and winning by almost as much as did Ron Sullivan in the first one. So the first heat victory for the visitors goes to Steve Masters at Kings Lynn in white. In 2nd place in blue is Brett Woodfield. Third in red is Nigel Sadler. That's 3 points apiece once again. It's 6 points all with 2 heats gone. But a great win for Steve Masters there. One-time Eastbourne rider, manufactures helmets as his main business now.
Break, don't make many of them in the Elite League. Fairly hard first corner and just sort of got my head down and got away. I watched Ryan in the first one, and after a couple of laps, looks like the tracks, you know, the dirt's shifting, beginning to build up. I'm getting a bit of a berm going into 3. It's pretty heavy, and I was trying to, last couple of laps, take it a little bit easier so I didn't mess up, and I think I was getting in even more trouble.
Well, we can take a look at you in action here and see what you think when you see it from this point of view. And here's the start again.
Yeah, I mean, I spun up a bit initially, but I managed to get, you know, the drop on it, and I thought there was Tom P on the outside of me on the first corner, and then when I realised it was the guy in blue, I just thought he sat back and let the thing take me. And as you can see, I built up a fair bit of a lead after the first half a lap or so.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. I mean, when you first came in, you started telling me exactly what it felt like out there, and you weren't very kind in your words. You knew that this is a pretty demanding track and a little bit inconsistent. So, you know, what have you learned from it, and what are you going to do about it?
I think I'm basically going to leave the setup as it is, you know, and just learn not to shut off, Sam, I think.
Okay.
And trying to feather the throttle for the last couple of laps didn't really work. And I think I got myself in a bit of trouble. Like I said to you earlier, like I watched Ryan in Heat 1, and he was getting a little bit, not a lot of trouble, but you could see that the bike was surging him forward, going in down on the third bend. There's a bit of a berm as you go in.
Yeah.
A little bit inconsistent, but once the tractor's been around a few times, it'd be great.
You seem really fast anyway, doesn't he? I mean, you had a really good lead, so I must be really confident to go out there and play with the other boys. Hopefully you have a chance of beating some of the star players.
Yeah, I mean, when we come here before, I used the same engine, but, you know, I think I was maybe a tooth out on the back wheel.
Okay.
And when I went out for my first race, I made the start initially, but I lost it towards the corner, so I've just ordered the engine set up slightly, nothing to do with the track conditions, just for here.
Right.
And it seems to be working all right.
All right, well, we'll let you get back to the pits and see if you need to do any other adjustments. Well done.
Brett Woodifeld in blue for Peterborough on the inside. Craig Boyce goes in white for Kings Lynn, gate 2. Gate 3 is Sam Tasoff for Peterborough in red. John Cook, first league ride for 7 years, I have to tell you. Last rode here, of course, in Britain in 1993, the British night against an all-star team, and the score, but let's see if he can improve on that tonight. The way they go. On the inside in blue, Brett Woodifeld, but look at the man in white, Craig Boyce. Boyce picks it up, but round the outside goes Sam Tasoff. The race is joined, at the back is John Cook. Once again, we have a visitor in front from Kings Lynn, and packing in behind him, the 2 riders from Peterborough. In blue, Brett Woodifeld, in red, Sam Tasoff, and the man out front, the flying Aussie tonight from Sydney, Craig Boyce. He's going to take some catching. John Cook at the back is struggling, but Boyce got a flyer.
Yeah, Boyce is looking very, very quick. John Cook there in the centre of the picture, just struggling a bit there at the back. First time he's ridden on a track of this size. This is the biggest track in England, and pretty difficult. Cook is just about gone down there.
John Cook has fallen at the back, fallen in his first ride. He overcooked it a bit on the corner. That's not going to affect what's happening out front. He's remounted at the back, but the man in white there, Craig Boyce, is going well, and he's going to become the second heat winner of the night for Kings Lynn to keep the flag flying and keep their championship hopes alive. Because Craig Boyce in the white helmet colours comes round the final bend. The checkered flag is in sight, and he wins it ahead of Sam Tasoff and Brett Woodifeld, and that's the third successive 3-all of the night at 9 points apiece now, with 3 heats gone and 12 to go. And that man there, Craig Boyce, a rather slower time than Ron Sullivan early on, but certainly quite pleased to provide the second heat winner of the night for Kings Lynn.
Wet come out the second turn here, and I'm sort of oversliding a lot, so I think when it dries out it'll be a lot better.
That's what most of the boys have been saying so far. But you did get away. Did you think you had the advantage straight away when you watched Woodifeld in the race before that? Coming out of gate 2.
Yeah, I thought so. You know, with Brett on 1 and Sam on 3. I'm glad Sam was on 3, but
okay.
I thought I had him easy in the first turn. I see him coming again, so.
Yeah, there's the start right there. You can just see yourself just getting over the top of him there.
Yeah, I made the start, and as I said, I should have probably got in the dirt a little bit quicker, but it's a pretty flat bike I'm riding tonight, so I didn't really know what to expect. That's working good.
Yeah, we call this one the Slug, is that right?
Yeah, it's the Slug.
Okay, I heard you nickname it earlier, that's the
So,
Slug.
Johnsy, if you're watching, I'm on the Slug.
Okay.
Why'd you call it the Slug, then?
Well, it's the flattest one I own.
Well, you did pretty good in the last heat.
Yeah, it's going right, so make a few changes and see how we go.
How are you feeling? Are you looking for a big night tonight?
Yeah, I need to. I really struggled here last time. I had too much horsepower all night, and I need to make amends and keep my team spot next year in Kings Lynn.
There you go. Stay on the slug then. We'll let you get back. He takes his slug back to the pits.
The lineup sees for Peterborough on the inside, Nigel Sadler, that reserve replacement for Brett Woodfield. In yellow and black for Kings Lynn goes Tom Madsen, their reserve. In gate 3, it's Peter Carlson, the Swedish Grand Prix rider from Peterborough, in red. And on the outside, Lee Adams goes in white. The Aussie currently top of the British League averages at the moment. Then 9, Kings Lynn, white and yellow and black. They 2 and 9. Away goes the starting marker, Peter Thompson. A flyer on the inside on a man in blue there, Nigel Sadler. Round the outside, what speed from Lee Adams. He goes from 3rd to 1st in no space at all and leads the 2 home riders from Peterborough in his wake. What a ride by the outside. Tom Madsen is left at the rear, but the shot tactics of Lee Adams, and now he stretches his lead.
Yes, Lee Adams certainly takes some beating, but Nigel Sadler led him round the first turn. Nigel said earlier on today when I spoke to him that he's now got over his shoulder injury and he's feeling a lot better, and certainly the start there improved that, Tony.
Well, he did from the start, but what a surprise move round that pitch bend as Lee Adams picked up grip and speed, and now a really big lead. The surprise being Peter Carlson back in 3rd place, and Nigel Sadler, the man in 2nd place, helping to provide the points for the home team. And yet again, we're going to have a 4th successive heat with the points shared here. Down the back straight with half a lap to go, surely set for victory. Yet again is Lee Adams in the white helmet colours to take him up to 398 points this season, ahead of the rider in blue, Nigel Sadler. Peter Carlson gets a 3rd place in red, the 4th successive 3-all. With 4 heats gone, it's now Peterborough 12, Kings Lynn 12. Plenty to race for here at the East of England Showground, and yet for Peterborough in red. In gate 3, it's Jason Crump in white for Kings Lynn, and on the outside, Brett Woodfield comes in as the rider replacement for David Howe, and Brett Woodfield already his 3rd ride, as I said, in 5 heats. A busy night.
Too brilliant, but at the moment we're okay with the weather, Tony.
Okay with the weather, okay with the racing, it's still level. All 4 heats have had a share of the points, but away on the inside goes Travis McGowan in yellow, as Sam Hermolenko predicted. Jason Crump is there with Travis McGowan in 2nd place. It's 1 and 2 for Kings Lynn. They're struggling at the back. Sam Taysar in red is in 3rd place. Brett Woodfield is in 4th, and now this could see Kings Lynn open up a 4-point lead, because these 2 would take some passing. Astride the track, down the back straight goes Jason Crump and takes his teammate Travis McGowan with him.
Yeah, we're seeing some fabulous team riding here from Jason Crump and Travis McGowan. Jason, you notice he's riding out wide. He's not throwing any dirt over Travis. He's giving Travis a nice, good, clean run. Travis is riding that inside, just staying out of that dirt, and they're just pulling away from the opposition.
With a lap and a quarter to go, this could be a maximum 5 points to 1 heat victory. The first heat to provide a heat advantage to either team here tonight. Down the back straight they go, opening up an even bigger lead. A real disappointment for the Peterborough fans in Sam Taysar and Brett Woodfield to tail off. But Jason Crump in the white helmet colour ahead of Travis McGowan in yellow. 3rd place eventually going to Sam Taysar in red. This is a 5 points to 1 heat margin for the visitors from Kings Lynn, who now lead by 17 points to 13, with 5 heats gone and 10 to go. And Jason Crump, the heat winner, with some comfort, taking his Aussie colleague, young Travis McGowan, with him to provide a 5 points to 1 margin.
A little bit patchy, to be honest. I think probably in about 4 or 5 heats, when the dirt dries out a bit, and it'll make a very nice berm on the outside. But at the moment, it's a bit wet and heavy, and just in places.
And your teammate here, he's just joined us, but a good heat by both of you. How was that for you?
Yeah, it was a good ride. You know, I just got out of the gate and managed to stick it on the inside there, and I seen Jay coming around the outside, so it all worked well, you know, and I just ran a tight line, and it seemed to be okay for me.
How much have you learned from the man of the moment at the moment?
Oh, heaps, you know, he draws you along, you know. I probably wouldn't be going half as fast if it wasn't anyone else but Jason Crump in front of me.
Well, I don't know what to say. You kind of said it all. The only thing I can say is quote Jason. He says earlier that the track, you know, his first race, and now it's still patchy. So
yeah, it is. It's a little bit surprising, Sam. I think with the wind being so strong, they wanted to get a lot of water into it to make sure it was going to be moist all night. And of course, we all know that means it's going to be a little bit greasy and patchy early on. But I think, like I said, 4 or 5 more heats on it, I think it'll be a pretty cool track.
Well, that was a crucial heat for you. I kind of called it, saying that I think with both of you guys, there's a chance of it happening. Travis made a great start, and you nursed him around there and kept it out of trouble.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I think the first corner Trav rode there was, you know, I wasn't really nursing him. He nursed me around the first corner. He did a terrific job on the inside, and you know, I basically just got the run. And once we were away there, the dirt's so heavy here at Peterborough that the other guys behind us were going to have a tough job, and we just needed to stay as close as possible together, and that's what we did. He rode a great line around the inside trav, and just gave me the speed on the outside, so we just need a few more of them.
Well, there you go. You heard it from the man himself. Well done.
He broke his leg. The liner. Zetterstrom on the inside for Peterborough in blue. Gate 2 is Lee Adams for Kingsland in white. Gate 3, Ron Sullivan, who won the first heat. The only heat winner so far for Peterborough. Gate 3 on the outside is Steve Masters in yellow and black. That's the lineup. This is heat number 6. Kingsland have a 4-point lead. Can they at least fall? And they race again at Oxford tomorrow. Up by the tapes and away goes the man in white. Lee Adams, and Sullivan is left at the tapes and has work to do and appears to bring down Steve Masters. And I just wonder what our referee Mick Bates will say about that, because Ron Sullivan was left at the tapes, and as he went round that bend, down came Steve Masters. And I wonder just what the outcome will be from this, because the referee is able to look at the monitor screens. He can see exactly what we see. And I just wonder, PC, what happened there?
Yeah, that was nasty for Steve Masters. Steve's on the outside. We can see in the red that Ryan Sullivan doesn't make the best of starts, but on the outside there, Steve Masters just gets a bit of a nudge there from Ryan Sullivan entering the first turn, and went into the fence very, very hard there, back first. We can see this again from the start. On the outside, Steve Masters is just on that run there, but on the inside of him, Ryan Sullivan just takes his line, and down goes Steve Masters into the fence. But I believe that the referee is going to put all 4 riders back in the rerun, which sounds a fair thing to do from me, because that was it was first bend bunching. There is no doubt about that. There we can see that there was just nowhere for Steve Masters to go. Bunching on the first turn, all 4 back.
Certainly there, Peter. Well, the advantage to Ryan Sullivan in having a restart, because he totally missed the start, hadn't he?
Yes, he had. Ryan had missed it altogether. Lee Adams had already gone, but Steve Masters, I think Steve's probably quite winded. We saw him just moving his legs there, but I think he needs a fair bit of time to get his breath back, because he does seem to be needing a bit of time to get himself back together. I think he's winded, Tony.
Well, a little while back we had a man who had quite a serious accident in one of our transmissions. He's Sam Omalenko. He was watching that on the screen. Sam, what about that one?
Well, I kind of got to agree a little bit, but I think Lee Adams made such a good start and got out in front, and Ryan was left standing there. We mentioned earlier, Ryan said something about, well, let's just have a quick look at it and we'll just see again here. You can just see like Lee just bolts from the start. Ryan's in red there on the inside, or just outside of Lee, and as they're going in the corner, Ryan has nowhere to go, and I think if he would have turned hard now to get off of Steve, he probably would have put Steve in more danger. So I think, possibly it was the first turn bunching, but here's have another look at it here. And just watch Ryan right now in the red here. He's just he's not even in the hunt for getting in front, but he turns in, and Steve just kind of leans on Ryan a little bit, and it looks like Ryan's moving out to the dirt. At the same time, he was kind of worried about maybe if he flicked it. So I don't know, Tony, what do you think?
Well, I don't know. It's very difficult. The ambulance is out there for Steve Masters. And the most significant thing is that Steve Masters started with a hit victory, and this could well hinder Kingsland's chances. PC alongside me. What about that?
Yeah, I think Steve was so fast in his first race that he thought he was going to perhaps get away around that first turn and lead it, and he did go very, very hard into that corner. I think normally he may have backed off and let Ryan Sullivan go and cut back to the inside, but he felt he was in a position there where he could probably keep going around that outside, because he knew that that was the quick line. But unfortunately, he just ran out of track on that first turn, and he slid heavily into that fence back first. And that's always pretty sore, because it's a hard wooden safety fence here at Peterborough, and you are travelling going into that first corner, and it seems to me as though it's his back that did take the brunt of it, but he is moving his legs and he is conscious, so I just feel that he's had a very, very nasty bang to the back.
It's going to be a real problem here, because Steve Masters looked very impressive first time out, and Tom Madsen, the other reserve, has come in last in both his rides so far. So it's Kingsland, without Steve Masters, their reserve strength is going to be decimated.
Yeah, Kingsland are really depending on a good reserve, and Steve Masters was that the way he was going in his first ride, and they need him. But let's hope he can get back up on his feet, and that he's able to ride in the rest of the match. But he seems to be taking his time there, and the doctors and the medics are there with him, and he does seem to be It looks as though he is getting back to his feet, which, like I say, I think he needed some time to get his breath back, and let's just hope he's okay.
While the lads in the studio are on top of the action, lots of activity in the pits. Jonathan Green, what's happening down there?
Yeah, well, we're just chatting to some of the guys. Everybody's obviously watching with a great deal of concern. And Ryan Sullivan actually is just across the way. And Ryan, perhaps you can give us an idea of what you thought about what happened.
You know, we all sort of went in together, and it was tight first bend, and he sort of didn't get lost. Left. Here we go. I haven't seen it on the replay. Didn't make a particularly good start, and he was trying to come across there. And I was just on the edge of the dirt. We never actually touched. He's just gone. He's just run out of room.
Yeah, from that angle, it kind of looked like, here's another angle of it, Ryan.
He was trying to come across there because he made quite a good start. We were pretty even. I didn't think we actually touched, but
it almost looks like you were kind of chasing the high line when you were settling down, but at the same time, maybe you felt him leaning and you didn't want to flip it, but that's kind of how I called it. But
you know, I saw him there, and I wasn't trying to move him. I was just trying to run on the edge of the dirt, and you know, well, nothing.
Yeah,
Just deliberate. I'm glad to see him. He's on his feet, and you know, I certainly don't like to see any accidents like that while we're racing. But you know, I'll go across and speak to him now, make sure he's okay, and you know, I'll be ready for the next race.
Well, the referee called all four of you back, so obviously you've seen it as just unsatisfactory first corner, I guess. And
yeah, I think that's fair. You know, we all went in. It was a hard first bend, and you know, I didn't stick him straight in. I didn't push him too hard. We were just going for the same bit of dirt. So no, I try to ride clean everywhere, and you know, I don't like to see that happen.
Right on.
We'll let you get back and sort your bike out. Ryan Sullivan, obviously.
In red from gate 3, the Peterborough captain on the outside. That is the shaken but not stirred Steve Masters, who's having another go, and I'm sure that he won't want to go into the fence this time. On the inside, our starting marshal moves away. Our referee lets the tapes go up, and away they go. And once again, Lee Adams will pick it up here, but look at the man in front in blue, Magnus Zetterstrom. But he is going to be followed now by Ryan Sullivan. Sullivan comes through, the Peterborough fans cheer. Lee Adams is left. Lee Adams has work to do. A chance for team riding out front. They're right across the track, the two home riders. If it stays like this, it would level it up. Steve Masters is at the back. But look at the front too, both from Peterborough.
Yeah, it's going to be real tough now for Lee Adams, because he's got to find a way now between these two. He's very, very fast, but the way the two Peterborough boys are riding side by side is just not finding a way through, Tony.
A brilliant start by Magnus Zetterstrom, and look what he's managed to achieve down that back straight, because he's stretched out the lead. And now Lee Adams, if he's going to make some progress, has got to get by two of them, and with a lap to go, that's extremely unlikely on this Peterborough track. Away they go down the back straight, and this will again level it up at 18 points apiece if it stays like this, because the surprise winner looks as if it's going to be the man in blue, Magnus Zetterstrom. I wonder if we're getting the war dance, because ahead of Ryan Sullivan in second place, Lee Adams in third place in white. That reverses the scoreline from the previous heat, provides a second heat winner of the night for the home team from Peterborough in Magnus Zetterstrom, and it is now 18 points apiece with 6 heats gone and 9 to go. And Zorro, they call him, the Swede, Magnus Zetterstrom, is last to come.
Really in his first ride. Here we go, he's got his dance here, what he normally does to the crowd here. He's got the disco move here. It's a regular thing he used to do down at Poole last year when he was with them, before he broke his leg here. But in that race, he was just unbelievable from the start, especially after his first ride.
White for the visitors from Kings Lynn. Peter Carlson goes gate 2 for Peterborough. In yellow and black, the veteran John Cook for Kings Lynn. On the outside, it's Nigel Sadler for Peterborough in blue. That's the situation as they line up. Remember, it's level at 18 points apiece, as you see. Top left-hand corner of your screen as we go into heat number 7. A few to some sort of order. He's ready, he's happy. The referee lets the tapes fly up, and again, Craig Boyce makes it on the inside. A brilliant ride by him, taking everybody else wide. And his teammate in yellow, John Cook, tries to come through in second place. It's picked up on the outside by Peter Carlson, who splits the two visiting riders at the back in blue. Nigel Sadler is struggling to make ground, but Craig Boyce here is going to be put under pressure by Peter Carlson. Round they go with a lap and a half gone. Carlson comes through the inside as Boyce locks up, and that's a brilliant ride by the lively Swede.
Yeah, the speed that Carlson can ride around any speedway track, I didn't think he was going to stay in second place for long. He's just gone straight by Craig Boyce there. but third place John Cook is just hanging on to that point, and that could be very, very crucial, Tony, if he can just stick with that third place.
And it will mean that John Cook gets his first point in British Speedway for 8 years, of course. It was 7 years ago he was last here, and this will provide once again a split of the points for the 5th time tonight. But look what's happening at the back, because the cheers from the crowd are greeting pressure from Nigel Sadler in blue. The cheers are even bigger for Peter Carlson in red out front. He takes the checkered flag ahead of Craig Boyce and John Cook. Cook delighted to pick up his first point. 3 points apiece the heat score, 21 all with 7 heats gone and 8 to go. But a heat winner there in Peter Carlson, his first win of the night. Remember, he came third first time out. The Swedish Grand Prix rider has been rattling up the points here for Peter.
Peterborough look real strong in this one.
Line-up sees Tom Madsen in yellow for Kings Lynn on the inside. Brett Woodiford in blue for Peterborough. Goes from gate 2. Gate 3, the young Aussie Travis McGowan for Kings Lynn in white. And for Peterborough on the outside, the man who produced the celebration with his first heat victory since returning to British Speedway, Magnus Zetterstrom here on loan from Paul. Changing too much, PC, as we look away at this one. Away goes the Starling Marshall, and a little bit of lift on the inside for Tom Madsen, but there they go, the home riders 1 and 2 in red. Magnus Zetterstrom could have his second successive heat victory ahead of Brett Woodiford. Tailed off at the rear, certainly in yellow, is Tom Madsen. The man in white is Travis McGowan, and this would give the home team a 4-point lead if it stays like this. But look at the pressure in second place at the moment, because there's a race going on there with the man in white, Travis McGowan, putting the man in blue, Brett Woodiford, under some sort of pressure. Way out front is Magnus Zetterstrom, but there's quite a race going on there.
Yeah, the two Aussies are having a ding-dong battle here. We've just got on the outside. McGowan's going to have a run round the outside here. Can he just sneak there? He's decided to come back to the inside, but all the time he's having a real serious attempt now to go round the outside of Woodiford. Just not quite wide enough there, Travis.
With a lap to go, this could still count in the final countdown. No doubt about the man out front, Magnus Zetterstrom, set for his second successive heat victory. But Travis McGowan is going to put Brett Woodiford under pressure. Can he do it? It looks as if Woodiford will hold him here. He's going to do so. Another dance of celebration surely coming the way of Magnus Zetterstrom as he took his partner with him. Third place going to the man in white, Travis McGowan, but once again a 5-1 for the second time in 3 heats for the home team from Peterborough. They now lead by 26 points to 22, and I just wonder if that is a signal for Kings Lynn's league championship hopes to go out of the window. Magnus Zetterstrom is second.
Yeah, thank you very much. It feels really good. So, yeah, I don't know. Just be there and make the starts, and everything went so much more easy than in the first heat.
I think that's the point. You made the start, didn't you?
Yeah, and we talked earlier, me and Magnus, about the track, and he says that he doesn't have any ill effects about hurting himself here, but just watch out of the start here, how you just bombed out of that start.
Yeah, that's true. It just makes it so much easier. The Speedway is 90% starts today, and also I got more confidence now when I'm making the start instead of be behind people. So if I can make start like that, I was scoring some good points.
Yeah.
It is great that you've come back here to the place where you did injure yourself very badly, and no thoughts of that tonight.
No, that's right. I mean, Speedway is Speedway, and to hurt yourself, that's a part of the game for a lot of riders. So it's nothing I really worried about, but of course mentally it always be behind in my neck, but it doesn't matter. It just, I want to ride Speedway and I'm here to do the job, so I'm going to try to do my best.
I think the Panthers fans better start learning your dance as well.
Yeah, I hope I'm going to give them more of that, not only tonight, but for the rest of the season.
All right, well done again to Magnus Zetterstrom. Great.
Because they already lead by 4. Remember, if that's extended to 6, tactical substitutions can be used. Lee Adams goes for Kings Lynn in white from the inside. Nigel Sadler for Peterborough, gate 2. Steve Masters for Kings Lynn in yellow goes from gate 3. On the outside, it's Sam Taysar, the flying check for the home team here at Peterborough. Ryan Sullivan, the Peterborough captain, watching anxiously for the pits, I dare say. But certainly with his performance so far, well, a paid maximum for him at the moment. Second place behind Magnus Zetterstrom, second time out. Starling Marshall moves away, up fly the tapes it away on the inside. In white goes Lee Adams, a brilliant start by him. but a little bit of a problem here when Nigel Sadler takes his own man Sam Taysar wide, but now Taysar has to put the pressure on. Steve Masters is at the back, and this, if it stays like this, will be a share of the points. But look at the pressure now being put by Sam Taysar on Lee Adams, but Lee Adams out front now is perhaps going to control the track. And look at the action at the back, because Steve Masters is trying to put Nigel Sadler under some pressure, and if he can do that, that will close the gap slightly.
Yeah, Masters is riding wide. He's right on the tail there of Nigel Sadler. If he could just get past, they would get that heat advantage, like we said.
Lee Adams is going wider, picking up grip and speed, and at the back Steve Masters has come through, I can tell you. And really, Steve Masters will play a vital role here ahead of Nigel Sadler as they go into the final lap. It's all to do at the back end of this field. Out front, Lee Adams is riding, but look at the man in yellow there, and this could be a vital ride for Kings Lynn Championship hopes. No doubt about Lee Adams out front, but Steve Masters, if he holds that third place, and he's going to do it, because the winner in white is Lee Adams, in red in second place is Sam Taysar, and a brilliant ride in the end by Steve Masters that took a while to settle means that the visitors from Kings Lynn win that one by 4 points to 2. It's now Peterborough 28, the visitors from Kings Lynn 26. Just
Steve, like we said earlier, that point was so crucial for Kings Lynn. Steve had a good run, just to go creep around the outside there of Nigel Sadler. I don't think Nigel knew that he was coming, but then it was too late for Nigel, and Masters had got that third place.
Well, Masters got the third place, played a vital role, and now he's
proved in that one that you came out fighting.
Yeah, that's really wound me up. A bad decision by the referee there. Didn't really leave me a lot of room, you know. You know, Grand Prix riders shouldn't really be behind me anyway, but there's no need to go and just stick me in the fence for no apparent reason. But, you know, obviously a little bit shaken up in the rerun, and didn't really get away at all well. But got my thoughts together and got right back into it, and I knew I could get past Nigel. But it's just a case of getting a little bit closer to him and getting a good run off the fourth turn.
Yeah, Lee's just come in, and an important come around this way. It's very important, that important point by Steve there, so crucial now as it's getting down to nitty-gritty, isn't it?
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, they got a 5-1 in the race before, so we couldn't afford to let it slip by. But you know, we're in there fighting, and it's going to go down to heat 15 definitely.
That's what we want to hear. We'll let you get back to the action. Thanks, guys. Good luck to you all.
Cook in yellow this time, going from the inside. Next to him in blue is the man of magic, the man of the moment, Magnus Zetterstrom. K3, that belongs to Craig Boyce in white for Kings Lynn, and Boyce too going well here tonight with a heat win and a second place for him. And Ron Sullivan, the Grand Prix rider, the Peterborough captain, the Peterborough number 1, goes in red from the outside. This is heat number 10, just 2 points in it, with Peterborough home side leading by 28 points to 20. This is heat number 10. Away goes the start. Oh, the tapes are touched by John Cook here. I'm sure he will be excluded or can go back 15 metres, or reserve can take his place. And, well, I'm not sure. Yes, he is excluded. He may go back 15 metres, or he may be replaced by reserve. The obvious reserve might be Steve Masters, but he could run out of rides. And I just want Kings Lynn. Gate 2, Magnus Zetterstrom for Peterborough. Gate 3, Craig Boyce for Kings Lynn. On the outside, it's Ron Sullivan, the Peterborough captain. Remember, Peterborough, the home team, wear the red and the blue helmet colours throughout the key in Gate 3. Away goes our starting marshal, upside the tapes, and away, as you say, goes Steve Masters on the inside. A brilliant start by Masters. Boyce is going to pick it up with him. A little bit of a shock here now, because he double lead the 2 home riders right at the back. And if it stays like this, it will be Kings Lynn who will take the lead. A really fabulous ride by the reserve Steve Masters. I just wonder if it is his night, because alongside Craig Boyce, they're extending their lead down their back straight.
What did I say about a bit of gamesmanship there, Tony? Because the way they're going in this one, they are just flying, and Ryan Sullivan is at the back.
Well, Ron Sullivan in last place, and that distinctly unusual for the Peterborough captain. I wonder just what is wrong with the rider with the red helmet colour, but down that back straight with a lap and a half to go, and this will be a 5-1 in favour of the visitors, Kings Lynn, and will take them back into the lead by 2-point margin with 5 heats to go. Could the meeting be turned on its head by this result here? What a ride by the reserve Steve Masters out front in yellow and black, and with a quarter of a lap to go, he's almost winning it as he pleases. Steve Masters takes that ahead of Craig Boyce. Back in third place, just in blue, is Magnus Zetterstrom. That's 5 points to 1 to Kings Lynn, their second successive heat victory. And now it's 31-29 in favour of the visitors from Kings Lynn. They are keeping their league title hopes alive. And this man who got out of the ambulance.
But Craig and Steve in particular had a great race, you know, to hold Ryan and Magnus out, and it's a bit of a surprise.
What are you telling the boys in there? Are you trying to G them up?
Well, yeah, I mean, that obviously, a result like that lifts the whole team, and you know, that's what we need, because we need a win tonight.
Well, Jonathan, you mentioned earlier how surprised you are, I should say, how you can see how these guys are all working as a good team, and it's probably a key play right now. Even though you had a little bit of luck there with John hitting the tape, and I don't think that was intentional. Peter Collins was kind of saying maybe it's a little gamesmanship. What do you think?
No, it wasn't at all. John's got a brand new bike that he rode for the first time yesterday, and and one of the studs in the clutch actually came out and just dragged him in. So nothing intentional in that at all. But you know, Gate 1 seems to be working well, and who's to say that Cookie couldn't have gone out and done the same thing from Gate 1 as well?
Sure.
Well, things are going well for this man, of course, here at the
World Championship's still open. Obviously, Mike's in a great place because he's leading the rest of us. But you know, Speedway's a strange sport. We just saw what happened in the last race, and you know, I'm going to keep my mind open and focus hard on Bydgoszcz and go there and try and do my best.
How is somewhere like Bydgoszcz for you?
It's never been a great track for me in the past, but then again, Boyens never was before the weekend either, and it's just, you know, I think if I can get my head around it and concentrate hard and get my mind on the job, I hope I can do it.
It's one of those things that you got to do when you want to chase the championship. Jason said earlier, if you'd have won that last round in Boyens, that'd have put him in second place and everything to go for. You seem a little bit more conservative than I know the Jason.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm starting to get older, Sam, and falling off hurts.
Okay.
But no, you know, I watched the A final for the first time there, and a lot of people have said to me I was very easy on the first corner, including yourself, and I still think I kind of made the right decision, even though I didn't come out of the corner in the lead. You know, going high would have probably made it a bit hectic for the guys behind me, and I thought second place was as good as anything on the night.
That's fair enough.
Well done again, and good luck, I suppose. One more round, and of course...
In Gate 2, Travis McGowan, the promising Aussie who's going so well, double figures in his last 3 meetings for Kings Lynn. Gate 3 is Nigel Sadler, the Peterborough reserve, who's failed to score in his last 2 rides. And on the outside, it's the flying Jason Crump. Anything can happen. This is heat 11. Great to see here. Jason Crump almost against the fence, going plenty wide here, but giving him space from Nigel Sadler just inside him. Our starting marshal moves away, up by the tapes, and a flyer on the inside for Peter Carlson, and Jason Crump has a lot of ground to make up. But look at the move on the inside from Travis McGowan, but Carlson again down the back straight. Crump moves into 3rd place, a share of the points if it stays like this. Oh, and tough bucking and rearing at the back is Nigel Sadler. He's gone down. This could stop the race, and this will certainly help the visitors from Kings Lynn, because it will give Jason Crump another chance to steal a march on Peter Carlson, because surely the man in blue, our referee, excludes Nigel Sadler in blue, and this will be to the advantage of Kings Lynn, who must get at least a share of the points.
Yeah, strange one there with Nigel Sadler, because I think he was a bit concerned about the way Jason Crump went by him there. This is the start. Jason Crump's on the outside at the back. The rider in blue is on the outside by the fence, but just look at Travis McGowan come through. He squeezes Nigel Sadler up against the fence. Nigel's pushed wide here by Jason Crump. It sounded as though his engine had seized, I think. Looking at that, his bike, the engine had seized, and he fell in a heap. Fortunately, he'd lost all his momentum, but
Carlson on the inside, Travis McGowan next to him, a gap for the exclusion of Nigel Sadler in Gate 3, and on the outside it's Jason Crump, who has even more room now, Peter, to make it across.
Yeah, he has. We saw Travis McGowan make a great first turn. Jason missed the start completely, but that inside start position is working well. You can see that
Jason Crump can win it. Well, they will. Let's see what happens here now. Up by the tape, Peter Carlson makes it and kicks it down, but Jason Crump, his waist now will pick up the grip round the outside. He knows this track, he comes through, he takes the inside. Peter Carlson will try and close the gate on him and does. Carlson goes wide, more grip out there. Crump will have work to do. Travis McGowan back in 3rd place, and Peter Carlson now has really stolen the march on Jason Crump.
You know, Peter's really found his way around this track. He's come from a small track, Wolverhampton. He spent most of his career there. He's come to this big track here late in the season at Peterborough, and the way he's going around here, he's now become a big track man, and what a threat he is round here. Unbelievable.
Well, we know what he can do. We saw his disappointment in the Grand Prix when he was excluded for tape touching, but he came back at the weekend, and now he's producing the goods here for Peterborough, and with a lap to go in this heat 11, he has established quite a lead on Jason Crump and Kings Lynn as they trail behind this challenge for the league title behind Eastbourne know now that they are 2 points ahead with 4 heats to go as Peter Carlson takes the checkered flag for a share of the points in that one. It's now 32 to the home Kings Lynn. They lead by 2 points with 4 heats to go, but Peter Carlson has kept Peterborough very much in the match and kept the Kings Lynn team certainly on tenterhooks in that one. This is Sam Taysar from the productive Gate 1. Gate 2, Steve Masters for Kings Lynn goes in yellow with 2 heat victories to his name tonight. Brett Woodfield goes from the outside, from Gate 3 for Peterborough in blue, and on the outside it's Craig Boyce in white. Remember, 34-32 is the lead, just 2 points for Kings Lynn as they try to mount this league challenge home in their next meeting. Kings Lynn go to Oxford tomorrow. Away goes our starting marshal, up by the tapes, an absolute flyer from Sam Taysar who cuts across here. A real surprise for Craig Boyce, and now he's work to do. Sam Taysar was like grease lightning here. His teammate and partner Brett Woodfield. Oh, look at the problem there. What a fall there, and that, I have to tell you, is Craig Boyce tumbling out here, and he is excluded by our referee, and I just wonder if that will see the title challenge of Kings Lynn evaporate, because Craig Boyce has been excluded, and certainly he has very real problems there on that top end.
Yeah, something went wrong with that bike, Tony, as he entered that turn. I think he shed a chain or something. He lost all his drive going down that back straight, and he went into that fence very, very hard. He was on the outside of Steve Masters. Now this is the start. On the inside, Sam Taysar leads the race fabulously into the first turn. The Kings Lynn pair now tucked in behind him. Masters is riding the inside, but Boyce was the one here that's on the outside now. As they enter the straight, Masters has left him room, but there, Boyce, you see that he either caught his footrest on the fence, or the chain broke, or something that took his drive away, really messed him up going into that corner, and that just catapulted him straight into the fence. He didn't turn at all entering that bottom corner. Again, we can see here, down the back straight there, just see Masters there. Craig Boyce just catches something there, and that's when it's all over for him. He really has to get that bike down quick, and unfortunately he hit that fence pretty hard.
Well, it will leave in the rerun just Steve Masters to take on the Kings Lynn.
Front wheels totally collapsed, the forks are bent, the bike really plunged forwards into that safety fence there, and we did see some damage to the fence. We can see that hole in the bottom board there. Now for that to break, that bike must have been travelling. That board is about 2 inches thick by about 6 inches deep, and to do that damage, that bike hit it hard. I think it was the bike that did that, really. The bike did that rather than Boyce himself, but just let's hope he's
holding it like that, and running repairs will take place. And certainly, well, delighted to see Craig Boyce back on his feet, and that's just the sort of thing, Peter, you don't want on a speedway bike, an unexpected thing like that.
Yeah, it's great to see Craig walking away. He did go in very, very hard, and he went in head first. He kind of rolled and cannoned along the fence there, and it could have been a lot worse. It's very good to see him up and walking away, and apart from a few skin knees there and a bit of skin off his backside, I think he's okay, Tony.
Well, a lot of support from teammates and officials. It's all Kings Lynn official Bryn Williams there, and certainly, well, commiserations there to Craig Boyce, and well, Jim Lynn.
It's unbelievable. Look at that front wheel. That just goes to show how hard that bike went into that fence, and well, there's Craig walking away, so that's really good for everybody.
I'm just wondering, you know,
margin for them as we go to heat 13. Grand finale will be heat 15. Rider replacement has to operate at heat 14. There's the lineup. Sam Taysar in red for Peterborough on the inside. Steve Masters, gate 2 in yellow, goes for Kings Lynn. Gate 3, Brett Woodfield for Peterborough, and the exclusion light, of course, Craig Boyce on the outside. A shattered machine, shattered morale. Masters has to carry the flag for Kings Lynn in yellow. Away goes Sam Taysar on the inside yet again. Masters has second place. This could prove invaluable. He will have to stay ahead of Brett Woodfield, but Woodfield is picking it up now. Masters will have to take him wide. The real battle is of interest in second place there, because out front in red, Sam Taysar, and one wonders whether Sam Taysar could do some teamwork to hold back Steve Masters and allow Woodfield through, but that's not happening, and Masters is now putting the pressure on Taysar.
That's right. Taysar can't really do much because he's really under pressure from Masters. Masters is trying the outside run, but didn't quite make it that time, but Taysar just isn't pulling away, Tony.
What a tremendous meeting Steve Masters is having. Could he do it for Kings Lynn in this one? Down the back straight, a lap and a half to go. Brett Woodfield's at the back. It will level up at absolutely level going into the final 3 heats if it stays like this. But Masters can even improve on this. If he takes that Taysar down the back straight, he closes the gap. And with half a lap to go, Taysar will have his work cut out here. But the man in red, the Czech, is going to do it just ahead of Steve Masters. He does. Masters in second place in yellow. Third in blue is Brett Woodyfield. 4 points to 2 to the home team. A marvellous ride by Steve Masters, but that makes it 36 all coming up to heat 13. That and 2 more to go. But the vital second place.
Very hard.
A bit fuzzy in the old head department at the moment, but not too bad really. I think the bike's a lot worse off than what I am, thank God.
What happened?
Well, I was coming around, I had to run around the outside in the dirt, and I was getting a bit of traction, and I don't think, I'm not blaming Steve at all, he was racing hard, but I think if he would have given me a little bit more room, I could have squeezed through, but I think I got caught in the dirt pile against the fence. Well, that's what I think without looking at the video, I don't really know, but the bike just shot forward and I was history.
We're saying that the whole season for Kings Lynn could be riding on tonight. You really do need this win. It's all level at the moment. Can you do it?
Well, fingers crossed that Lee and Jason can pull something out the bag now, because I'm out of action just for a minute.
All right, well, it's all up to them now.
Side is Jason Crump going for Kings Lynn. Gate 2 is Ron Sullivan, the Peterborough captain, fellow Australian. Gate 3, another Australian, Lee Adams, goes in yellow for Kings Lynn. On the outside, the flying Swede, Peter Carlson, who's already won his last 2 races. Carlson can do it, but if Crump and Adams can get in the first 2 places in this one. Now here though, heat 13, vital for the outcome of the British Elite League, and look at Jason Crump on the inside. He's established a lead. His teammate Lee Adams is now in last place, because round the outside in blue, once again goes Peter Carlson. Adams has work to do. Crump is going wide. Crump is under pressure from Carlson. The race is well and truly on.
It is. Look at that there in white. Jason Crump rode the inside line for 1 lap, right down tight. Now he's gone wide, but Lee Adams at the back, it's crucial for him to be able to catch up Ryan Sullivan and sneak that 1 point from him, but he doesn't seem to be making any ground on him.
Half the race is gone. No ground being made at the back. In fact, Lee Adams looks to be going backwards. Jason Crump out front is certainly going forwards. No ground being made on him by Peter Carlson in second place with a lap to go. Crump is set for the 3 points on the checkered flag, but the points are going to be split, and it'll be 39 all if it stays like this at the end of this one. Jason Crump down the back straight in white, stretches that lead. Ahead of in blue, Peter Carlson. The Swede is going to be beaten for the first time in 3 races. Third place goes to Ron Sullivan. Disappointment for Lee Adams at the back. 3 points apiece the heat score. 39 points all with 2 heats to go. Still anybody's meeting, building up to a tremendous climax, but Jason Crump showing his ability and taking the checkered flag in that one. And the points with blue. Gate 2 is John Cook in white. He's been struggling somewhat tonight with just 1 point. Magnus Zetterstrom, 2 heat wins to his name for Peterborough, goes in red, and on the outside it's Steve Masters in yellow and black. He has 2 heat wins to his name, a second, third and fourth place from his 5 rides so far this evening. Our starting marshal walks away, up by the tapes on the inside in blue. Nigel Sadler gets the flyer. Masters on the outside is taken wide and has work to do. Moving through into second place in white, there is John Cook. Can he hold it? Masters at the back will struggle. Going wide though, but Cook is coming through. And what a ride here by John Cook. Cook the cowboy, the 41-year-old, the oldest rider in the British Elite League. Springer surprise here. Not now. He's been put under pressure. Peterborough riders either side of him go by. Cook is left at the rear, and now nothing short of a 5-1 would earn Peterborough for Kings Lynn a share of the points in the final race. Out front, Zetterstrom, his 3rd heat victory of the evening imminent, ahead of Nigel Sadler. Cook is now back at the rear. In 3rd place is Steve Masters, but look at this. Kings Lynn's league title hopes could evaporate with this heat. With a lap to go, they're going to be 4 points down going into the final race.
Yeah, Cookie certainly had one of his moments there, but it all evaporated in the end. But out in front here now, Peterborough Fair really going well now.
Well, will this decide the league? The heat winner, Magnus Zetterstrom, the 3rd time tonight, ahead of Nigel Sadler. In 3rd place is Steve Masters, 5 points to 1 for Peterborough, who now lead by 44 points to 40. Going into the final race, the best Kings Lynn can hope for is a draw. They get the bonus point if that happened, but Magnus Zetterstrom it is that wins that heat ahead of his teammate and partner Nigel Sadler.
Up on the first turn, second turn now, he's right again round that line. Look at that leg off the foot peg there. John Cook was the instigator of that manoeuvre. I can't really see what it does, but it did a lot for him on that one, straight into first place. Now when he gets in first place, he really is in a bad position now because he's got one either side, and that was the end of his first place.
A 5-1 in favour of the home team, they lead. Grand Prix rider, the Peterborough captain. Gate 3, Lee Adams goes in yellow, top of the British League averages. On the outside, Peter Carlson, who's had a good night. 2 heat wins already for him, and each time he's done it by coming round the outside on bend 2. Well, 2 minutes has counted down. The riders are up at the tapes now.
To the bikes before this crucial race, and here he goes now. Is he accepting it? Yes, he is. He's on the grass and he's heading back to the pits, and that's a big disappointment for Peterborough.
Well, we'll have to see who they put in now in Peter Carlson's place in this one, because...
Warning.
Well, the 2 minutes went off 2 minutes 30 seconds ago. I actually gave him 15-20 seconds over the time then.
It's a televised fucking meeting.
Oh,
Jim,
You're trying to do all this stuff. The lad was ready.
Are we going to go with the 2 minutes or not? If we aren't, then we might as well finish and go home. We go by the rules, and he had over 2 minutes.
But we didn't even know the bloody
Well,
thing
the
was
argument
on.
continues.
You know, every other meeting that I've been to for the last 4 years that's been on.
The argument continues between Jim Lynch, the team manager, and Mick Bates, the referee, but the 2 minutes is strict from our referee, and he's decided that that's what will apply. And we have Peter Carlson excluded from the restart. Well, Peter.
Well, rules are rules, Tony. He didn't...
It's a 2 minute warning, but this is a televised meeting. You've never seen anybody excluded for 2 minutes in a televised meeting. The guy was ready on his bike to go out.
Well, I was going to say...
It's just so silly. When the television comes, the referees want to be superstars. It's just crazy. And they've ruined the bloody...
Well, basically, I think there was just some confusion on whether that they actually knew the 2 minutes were on.
No.
You know, the lad was ready to go out. Peter was ready. We'd had a good break. And at television, you give him the time to do it. And he excludes the bloke, and then he makes a farce of the last race now.
All right, Jim, well, that's your opinion. Let's go back.
On the inside, Ron Sullivan, gate 2, gate 3, Lee Adams. The reserve is Nigel Sadler on the outside in blue. That is the lineup for the restart of Heat 15. Now, if Ron Sullivan can win this, then that will ensure at least 3 points for Peterborough. If Jason Crump and Lee Adams come second and third, that will make it a 3-all. It'll be a 4-point victory indeed for the winners, and that will mean that we have to have a ride-off. 4 Australians now take part in this. Sullivan, Sadler, Crump and Adams, away they go. Crump on the inside, lifts, goes on the grass, all over the place. Round the outside in yellow goes Lee Adams. Look at the pressure being exerted round the outside from Nigel Sadler. Is trying to get into it. The disappointment for Peterborough, Ron Sullivan at the back, but now it's Peterborough behind. It's Kings Lynn in front. Could this be vital in the quest for the league title? Because those 2 great Grand Prix riders, Jason Crump and Lee Adams, are heading them down the back straight, and this will be 45 all if it stays like this. They get the bonus point and a point and salvage something from this.
Unbelievable start here from Kings Lynn. They really got together there and pushed Ryan Sullivan back into third place, and now they're just accelerating away. Jason Crump is really flying, and Lee Adams is right with him, but here we go. Ryan Sullivan's having a big blast through the inside, but again, Lee Adams just takes back that second place.
Sullivan isn't done yet. There was almost carnage on that bend, but now down the back straight. Jason Crump will win this. Sullivan is still going to have a go, but Lee Adams is surely going to get second place, and does. Ron Sullivan third in red. That's a 5-1 margin in favour of Kings Lynn. It's now 45 all. Kings Lynn's league title hopes are well and truly alive. They've got 1 point for the draw. They've got the bonus point, and they've only got 1 point less than had they won the meeting. The league title is very much up for grabs. Nigel Wagstaff will be happy. A marvellous victory for Jason Crump. The hugs are there. Steve Masters has played his part. The congratulations and the handshakes for that Grand Prix pair of Jason Crump and Lee Adams. First and second in that one as the fireworks.
Ryan Sullivan stands on the back wheel, goes across the corner there, touches the grass, doesn't even back the throttle off, joins his teammate there, Lee Adams, who's just zooming down there, but look on the outside. Nigel Sadler squeezes through a gap there that wasn't there at all, but goes a little bit too wide, and that allows the Kings Lynn boys just to zoom back there into first and second place. But all the time, Ryan Sullivan was having a go. Here's the start again. Look at this here. There's a clash there. Jason Crump pushed onto the grass there, but kept the throttle wide open to hang on to that inside line there. Pushes Jason back into second place, but look there, down the fence, Nigel Sadler is really got tightly pushed against the fence there by Lee Adams, Lee, there you can see that Jason Crump is looking backwards and forwards, realises that Lee Adams is right with him, and then they set sail for that 5 points.
What a meeting in the studio. Jonathan and Sam, have you ever seen anything like it?
No, I've never seen anything like it at all. I don't think any of them, they can't believe it. Jason Crump's got his helm off. What a start!
Well, it was a bit wild there. Ryan and I started kind of close together, and kind of glad we both stayed on, really, going the first corner, and it gave Lee all the room he needed, and after that we're away.
Well, hopefully we can see it again, but it was an incredible start. Bucking and bronking all over the place. You almost lost it completely.
Yeah, it was very tight there, and
another cowboy. Hold on.
Yeah, there was lots of ruts off gate 1 going in all directions, and I think I got caught up in the middle of 2 of them, and it was taking me from side to side, and yeah, just lucky to stay on. I saw Lee over my shoulder, and I just wanted to get out and give Lee the inside running, which kind of worked after this here.
Well, Lee, come on in.
Yeah, it was good. Just you know, I just kept hanging in there. I didn't feel that quick, but I think Ryan was pestering me there for a while, and he actually ran through me on the next turn, I think. But we managed to stay in there, and you know, we got the draw. We would have been good to get the win, but that's life, eh?
And the important thing is, guys, a draw, a bonus point, and you're still in it very much. Nigel, I bet you didn't think that going into heat 15.
Well, as I said to you, that's what these guys are all about. And I suppose we had a little bit of luck with the toss, we favoured, but, that's what they're there for, and they do it every week for me, really, so it was never in doubt, really. I was confident.
So we are going all the way down to the wire. Guys, if you ever needed a confidence boost, this was it tonight. This was always going to be a hard struggle. Greg, I'll have a quick word with you. Obviously, you put your head on the line tonight, but the boys did good.
Put my head in the fence. No, it was fair play to the 2 in the last race, mate. They saved us again. They've been legends all year, so time for a rest.
Obviously, Jim Lynch is not happy at all with what happened and the way things have turned out, but a quick word from Steve Masters, who played a huge role tonight. You must have been very proud of the way you held in the reserves. Very important.
Yeah, great. That's a big part of winning meetings. That's why Eastbourne and us are top of the league, because we've got the best reserves in the league. So, it's nice that I love blowing my own trumpet and have a good meeting.
Yeah, why not? Now go and play your own trumpet to the fans that you've got here. They've come all to cheer you on, so we'll let you get back to them and enjoy the celebrations. Well done, guys. Still in it. It's good to see. Sam.
British League points.